Welcome to Back to the Drawing Board with Scott Lucas and Emerson Biggins. What do you say there, Emerson?
Hey, Scott, would you look at the size of them hands on that cheerleader?
Yep, Emerson Biggins, all right. Today's video, electric shop furnace, paint job. And off we go.
If you're using a rattle can, you need to shake the paint. Now, I don't know how many hours I've spent shaking paint, but I put an end to that just the other day when I took apart my hedge trimmers and I made me this. You can stand the sound of it. It works just great, especially on that heavy primer. You don't want to be sitting there doing this all the time. Well, it's ready for the rattle can. See what kind of finish we can get on this thing. Just because I spent so much damn time on it, might as well make it look pretty.
This is 2 coats of primer, wet sanded with 400 with a little bit of body filler on the control panel coat. Bought a $24 airbrush from Amazon. $7 air hose to go with it. That wouldn't hook up to anything I had, so then I had to spend another $7 on adapter fittings for the air hose.
This is British Standard pipe parallel. That doesn't have anything to do with American type national pipe tapered. There's not a fitting this side of, well, you can buy them. You can buy fittings to adapt that. They're only like $5 a piece. I saw one for $15. That was exciting. So if you're gonna buy a cheap airbrush, if you're gonna buy any airbrush, tack on another $5 or $10 for adapters for your air hose. Who knew? On my expedition for painting, I couldn't believe the price of airbrush paint. I don't know, it was like $4 for 2 ounces of paint. It was crazy. I decided to make my own. So, with a little clear polyurethane, some basic tint, and some acetone, I mixed up batches of different colors, and it worked out just fine. I think I got, let's see, $9, and I think that was $30. I think all of these were like $30. Oh, we can see all those. Okay, so, and then I just mix them up in these little jars, and well, you can see that's a problem because they didn't seal tight enough and it kind of healed over. But I'd mix them up in those jars, and then I'd just take a eyedropper or a syringe and put it in the airbrush. So those little jars didn't work out that great, so I went online again and I found these little 2-ounce bottles, and so I made a case for them. The next time I go to do this, I'm going to mix them up. You know, they should seal up tight enough to hold it, and then I can just squeeze it into the airbrush and be done. So I don't know, make your own paint, don't make your own paint. One thing I did come up with on this, though, was using, let's see if we can get this, using Prussian blue, or phthalo blue. I came up with a mix, and it might be a little thick now. I came up with a mix that makes your perfect die chem for laying out sheet metal. It's absolutely perfect. I'll have to get some out and show you here in a minute. And it's basically the same. It's a little different mix, ratio mixture. A clear carrier, a tint, and a thinner, and wham! You can make it dry up in a little to no time. All right. Well, this ought to give me about 4 hours of video, or 4 hours of editing time, since I've been rambling on about it.
Practice, practice, practice. And more practice, more practice.
Okay, this is my practice pad for airbrush painting. Well, hold on a sec. I use that for, oh, I don't know. I think there must be 4 or 5 coats of paint on that thing now. And I thought, well, every time I had to recoat it and sand it and everything else, I thought, well, that's crazy. So I quit using that and I came up with this pad here. And what that turns out to be is the glass out of a microwave oven door. It's simple. You can wipe away your latest masterpiece with a well-wetted rag full of acetone or solvent. Wipe it off and recoat it with a top coat. Next day you're ready to go again. You don't have to waste a bunch of paper, a bunch of cardboard or poster board. You certainly don't have to sand down an air tank anymore. You just wipe it clean and spray it again and wait overnight. Good to go. So at the height of my frenzy to paint flames, I went a little template nuts. I cut flame templates and templates out of everything I had around. Construction paper, plastic, old ice cream buckets, it didn't matter. So I did learn to use templates, which they have their place, but they're not everything, that's for sure. You still have to be able to freehand a thing. So I'm not doing a airbrush how-to video, but just some of what I did. All in all, it took about 10 days to get this furnace painted. I painted that air tank 5 times, and I don't know, I painted that old piece of glass maybe 4 times. And then I finally just said, well, I gotta go for it, so I went for the furnace, and that's what I came up with. And I was happy with it. You can teach old dogs new tricks. It was a blast.
I want to give a big thanks to all the YouTube airbrush artists that shared their knowledge. I watched so many videos. The list is too long to list. Thanks.
Paint job's done. I'm no airbrush artist, but I sure had a blast trying to figure this out. And other than that, the only thing that's left to do is wire it up.
Well, it looks like Boss showed up. That can only mean one of two things. Either time to eat or it's time to sleep. Thanks for watching. Next up, we're going to make some elements, some coils. Cool. Depends on how you look at it.